What's up, family? Welcome to the show. If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the US, let me know what country you represent. Family, smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. It does not necessarily mean that you agree with me because you're smashing up the likes. It just means that you appreciate the content. You appreciate me taking out the time, my busy schedule, to upload this information to you, to bring you this breaking information about child support in particular. I ain't trying to get nothing started, family, but I just thought that this was a very interesting conversation to have. Now, if you haven't done so already, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I'm gonna go right on in with this, family. I'm gonna go in and then I'll come to the chat, starting in the super chat. If you want to skip the line, you can jump into the super chat. That way you make sure that your comment go noticed. After I check the super chat, I'll move on over to the regular chat. But let's go in right now, family, about this child support thing, because this is a very, very contentious subject. Always opposing views. You either one this side or that side. It's always a hard right or a hard left with this child support thing. I don't know if you guys know this actor, but there's an actor by the name of Renner. What's his first name? Jeremy Renner. This guy went to the courts and asked for his child support to be lowered because Hollywood is basically shut down right now. There's no shows being ran right now. Everything is postponed. So he wants his child support to be postponed. He says, hey man, I ain't making the kind of money that I would normally make that would justify me paying this amount of child support. So I need my child support to be lowered. I want my child support to be modified to help me get through this situation. But here's something that I want to read for y'all. I found this in checking out his story. I want to read this to you. New Jersey case law requires a parent seeking a modification in child support to demonstrate a change in circumstances. That change, however, is generally not one that can only be temporary. Thus, a parent who loses their job under ordinary circumstances must demonstrate that it is not solely a short-term loss in order for their child support obligation to be not modified. Evidence of a parent's diligent efforts to secure new employment must be presented. In addition, if a parent is unable to find comparable employment to his or her prior position, but is able to find employment that results in a reduction in income, that person should be prepared to provide the court with evidence of their good faith efforts. So in this situation, in New Jersey at least, just because the country is going through something and just because a person who owes child support is going through something temporarily, that does not mean that they are going to have a favor in court. When you ask for a modification, the court, they're saying, at least in New Jersey, they typically are under the belief that this is where you are financially and there is no end in sight, at least right now. So they basing any modifications on, long-term, your long-term situation and not a temporary thing. So that's where they are in New Jersey. I posed this question and I knew that the ladies was gonna get pissed off at me for posing this question, but because I'm not a simp, I posed it anyway because I'm about justice and I'm about truth. And ladies, y'all know I'm on y'all side. Y'all know I ride for y'all. I mean, you can go through my timeline on any social media. You can go through my YouTube and check out any videos, and you'll see an overwhelming support from me for the ladies. So my loyalty to the women is not even questionable. It ain't even something that anybody should ever question. But also my loyalty to justice should never be questioned. And so I pose this question because I personally think that it's hypocritical for a woman to want to have relief from her obligations and during this pandemic, because everything is on hold. People are looking for relief. The government is talking about issuing checks. A lot of companies are talking about forgiving debts for right now, temporarily. And they're talking about putting people on payment plans and installments. So they're making adjustments to meet the people's needs. So if women are taking advantage of those services, why can't a father take advantage of those services? If the mother is taking advantage of those services for her obligations, for payment, to pay monthly dues, monthly bills, why can't the father? Is it a situation where because he's a man, there is no mercy, there is no flexibility? For me, I kind of liken this to how people view Black people in America. You know how it's like if a non-Black person, particularly white, let's say what it is, commits a crime, typically people will see the good in that person. They'll look at that person and say, well, that's a good person who made a bad decision, a good person who got caught up in something bad. But if a Black person commits the exact same crime, or is accused of the exact same crime, it's lock him up, throw the key, nigga ain't no good, he inherently bad. Inherently, that person is bad. So we got to go in on him. No matter, as soon as I see this Black person walk through my court, I'm gonna get him, get him, get him, get him, get him. No mercy. I don't care what the circumstances are. I don't care what he went through as a child. I don't care if he has some type of mental issues or anything. I don't care. All I see is a Black person and he needs to be punished. That's how I view child support. I view child support like there is no mercy for the man. It's like, no matter what, I don't care what the circumstances are, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him. And if he can't pay, lock him up. Now, I gotta say this. Yes, there are some dudes out there who are trifling. There are some dudes out there who try to circumvent their responsibilities. I have no love for those type of dudes. That ain't even what this post is about. This post is really about the men who usually pay their child support, who usually handle their obligations, but because of this pandemic, they're unable to. They're meeting hardship just like the entire world is meeting hardship right now. They should be given some relief. Not just, just say, oh, he's a man and you gotta find a way. Anyway, you're a man, you gotta find a way. What that's going to do is some men are going to hear those cries and some men are going to take that literally. And they're going to go out there and do something stupid, and then you ain't going to have no child support because they're going to get themselves killed or they're going to end up in jail trying to live up to that standard that has been created for men. And this is why a lot of times men have a high rate of suicide, because people don't give a damn about how men feel. They don't care about men's emotions. They don't care about a man's feelings. You're a man, man up, and that's it. That ain't cool, man, because it takes two to tango. Both men and women bring children into the world. Men and women are equally responsible for the productivity of this world. We are equally responsible for the goodness that goes into the world, right? We're equally responsible for taking care of each other, right? So in that case, a man's, what a man goes through, a man's emotions, a man's feelings, a man's mental health should be a priority, just like anybody else's mental health is. A man's mental health should be a priority. And I just believe that, you know, I saw this stuff online and people talking about child support and how men should not pay. I mean, how men should just pay no matter what. You should find a way because you're a man. Well, what about the mother? Should the mother just no matter what find a way? Let's say the man just can't find a way and he refuses to find a way. Should the mother just find a way? Should the mother be expected to go and sell dope, rob somebody, kill somebody to get to the bag, to get the bag? See, this is what we got to go. We have to go over that. We have to deal with that. And men, listen to me very closely. We need to be a lot more responsible with our own lives and our own freedoms, because a lot of times, or oftentimes, when we go out and hustle, a lot of times in our minds, we're hustling for our family. We're hustling for our babies. We're hustling for our woman because we want to put a smile on her face. You know, we're hustling. You know, we got to go get it, man. You know, and so a lot of times we run out of ideas and we just think that we don't have any other options. So one of the first things that we will do is we will resort to criminal activity. And then what happens is that we put ourselves in a situation where our freedom is at stake, our lives are at stake, and the very people that we were hustling for, or that we say we were hustling for, no longer have access to us, and they're left vulnerable because we're in prison or dead. They're vulnerable. The house is wide open now. Now you got stepdaddies and all kind of cats coming in and out of the house. And if you got babies, your babies are vulnerable. If you got a girl, a lot of times at some point, dude gonna start looking at your daughter. At some point. These days, they're looking at your son. You can't raise babies from the pen. You can't protect your babies when you locked up. So you went out there and you did the thing that you thought was honorable, but you're locked up. And now you're all the way behind, because now not only are you behind on child support, you're behind on child education, child coaching, child counseling, you know, child emotional stability, child development. You're not there. So you cannot raise that baby from the pen. So you end up putting yourself in a deeper hole when you go out there and take those penitentiary chances. It sounds good at the moment, but it always goes wrong. It just happens like that. So what happens is that, so you remove yourself from your child's life and you lose critical time with your babies and even around your family members and stuff like that, and loved ones. And then if you get out, then oftentimes when you get out, the woman has moved on with her life, the very woman you was hustling for, she's moved on with her life. The whole world basically has moved on. You get out, and now you're in a deeper hole than you was before you went in, because now you have a strike against you. And now those limits that you thought you had, or whatever action that you thought you had in life, now you're even further limited, right? Because of the choices that you made. Now you have even fewer access and options. So now you want that life, that same life, because what you want, that level of lifestyle that you wanted, that's not going to change. So perhaps you get a little old side, little hustle, a little regular job or whatever, just to, you know, get your parole officer off your back. But eventually you go right back in and do the same thing all over again. And you repeat the cycle. It's rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Where you know it, you got gray hairs, and you know you got APR letters, what is called AAPR letters. Is it PR? AAP something, whatever that is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know, for the elderly, when they give you the discounts and stuff. But you got those letters coming in now. And you know, all of that because you was trying to live up to an image, to other people's expectations. AARP is what it's called. Yeah, yeah. So you're trying to live up to other people's expectations. So I just feel like that, I felt like this was a great topic to put before you, because people are going through it right now, and everybody's going through it. If people are okay with every single bill being waived or postponed or put on hold for the moment as the United States of America go through this crisis, and the rest of the world goes through this pandemic. If you're okay with every other bill being put on hold, the light bill, the water bill, the mortgage, because the child need all that stuff too. Because if you ain't got a mortgage, if you ain't got the lights and stuff like that, then, you know, the child don't have a roof over their head, then, you know, where are they going to be eating the food at? Because people are talking about, well, the kids got to eat. Well, you know, if somebody's paying, you know, $300 a month for child support, or $600 a month for child support, or $10,000 a month for child support, the child don't need $10,000 worth of food every month, right? Wouldn't you agree to that? So maybe if there's a modification, maybe it needs to come down, the child support need to break down on how much food this child needs to eat off of. I'm just saying, man, I'm not being emotional about this, because I don't have child support issues. So I don't have to be emotional about this. I'm just looking at it from an objective standpoint. So let me see what y'all are saying. Let's check the chat. Okay. James Reddick says, the racist child support system is unconstitutional. Cheaper or lame says, child support should be paid on an individual basis, as some women are happy to keep fathers away from kids, yet expect child support. No way. Royalty Simpson says, yes, Willie D, cooking but listening. That's what I'm talking about. Cook. What is it? BMZ1 looks like. That's the way I'm reading it. Actually, I believe the parent that is financially better off should be awarded children. I'm just saying. Earl Williams says, they never want to give a black man a break. It's a shame. You got that right. Black man is supposed to be a superhero. He's supposed to be able to do everything and take care of everything. And he's supposed to be like, everything's supposed to be 100. He's supposed to be the absolute greatest ass, a shining example of humanity. And if he make one mistake, out of here. Okay, so who is that? Vima says, in Minnesota, they look at both parents' income and award the amount accordingly. Okay. Meta Doll says everybody has to pay child support though. That's true. But who do you think they're locking up disproportionately? And look, I ain't even got no statistics on it. But based on how they do everything else disproportionately, I'll just take a wild guess and say they're quicker to lock up a black man than anybody else. I'm just saying. Just a wild guess. Tracy Morris says, oh my God, men always ask for a break. What about women who provide and need a break? None think of her. Yeah, but that's not what the question is right now. We're talking about right here in the pandemic, where everybody's suffering, where a lot of people don't have at all, like nobody has. Like if the woman don't have a job, right? She got the kids. If she don't have a job, or let's say she has a job, she loses her job. If the woman loses her income and she can't pay, where's she gonna get the money from, right? If a man loses his income, if the mother loses her income that she uses to help pay things around the house, if she loses her income and she just can't pay, you can't squeeze blood from a turnip. If she can't pay, and that's cool, why is it so difficult to assume that the father can't pay either if he loses his job? He can't pay nothing. He can't pay for his mortgage. He can't pay his rent. He can't pay a car note. He can't pay the light bill. He can't pay the cable bill. He can't pay for insurance. If the mother loses her job and she can't pay for these things, and the father loses his job and he can't pay for these things, then how do you shake something out of the father if he ain't got it either? The mother is living proof that you can't squeeze blood from a turnip. So if she can't do it, what makes you think that he can do it? I would suggest that you find some type of middle ground. And if there is not enough money in the bank or not enough savings in the bank for the parents to come together, first of all, I think that's the first thing you should do. Let's see what these savings looks like. And first of all, he should not be required to pay the full amount of child support if that full amount of child support, let's say, is over, I'll say maybe over $200. We're in the middle of a pandemic. A child should not be eating more than $200 for a month. It's easy to go and buy a whole bunch of food for $200, at one of these stores that where you can buy in bulk. It is very easy to buy $200 worth of food for one child. And maybe it ain't the food that child wants, but maybe it's chicken. And if they don't eat meat, that's even better. But vegetables, just buy vegetables, once a week, $50 a week. Vegetables, plant-based stuff, whatever, and that's it. Once a week, do it like that. But if it's anything else, maybe he do it like that anyway. Drop the mama off $50 a week, or drop the food off, $50 worth of food every week. And that's if you got something in reserve. But I can tell you this, most people in America don't have enough money in the bank to get them through one extra month. Just most people ain't got enough money in the bank to reserve 1 month of bills, not 1 month of bills. So it's easy to assume that most of these dudes during this pandemic ain't got it like that. So where does the money come from? You're gonna have to use social services. Now there are a bunch of social services out there. People are going to have to swallow their pride and go and ask for those services. It's a pride issue, but it's also a survival issue. But at the end of the day, if there's any consolation, your tax money pay for those services. So it ain't like you're getting something for nothing. Ain't like you're getting it for free. You paid for it. Let's see where we are. Let me get attorney Cassandra Daniels in here. Let me get her on the line. Let's see. Gonna help us navigate through this thing. She's gonna help us navigate. Let's see. How can I do this? Do this like this, this like this, this like this. All right, we're gonna try to get Miss Daniels on the line here. All right, family. Let's see. Let me share my screen right here. So let's get Miss Daniels on the phone. Y'all let me know if y'all have a problem hearing what we're saying. Hello?
Hey.
Hey. You're live. You're live.
Hey, everybody. How y'all
doing? Okay, everybody's good. Everybody say hello to attorney Cassandra Daniels. So we're having a spirited discussion about child support, and I know that you specialize in family law, and child support falls under the umbrella of your expertise. So I wanted to know what you thought about this whole idea of modifying child support payments during the coronavirus pandemic.
Well, I mean, I think that if you have lost your job, you've had a cut in your hours or a reduction in pay, then I think that you are entitled to a modification. The standards that are required under the law in the state of Texas is for you to qualify for a modification, there has to be a material and substantial change in your circumstances. And if you've had a reduction in pay, you've been laid off, you've been furloughed, then that's a material and substantial change in your circumstances. So you are entitled to a modification, and you should seek one.
What if you're in the rear?
If you're in arrears, I mean, that doesn't affect your present obligation to pay, right? If you're in arrears, however, and I'm sure you guys have probably noticed already with the stimulus packages and the checks that are coming out, like, of course, that money is going to be taken just like all of your tax returns are taken when you owe back child support. But your arrears, though, have nothing to do with your current obligation to pay. Even if you owe $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 or more in back child support, if you're on the hook for current child support and you're no longer making that money, to pay that ordered amount, then you need a modification.
So you're saying that I guess I need a little bit more clarification here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say a guy ain't never paid child support and he owed child support.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's say he's already 30,000 in the hole, and
Okay.
he hadn't paid before the epidemic the pandemic started and the lockdown came into play.
Mm-hmm.
Can he still go and ask for a modification?
Well, the question is, why wasn't he paying? Right?
Right.
You are entitled to a modification prior to the pandemic and after the pandemic if there has been a material and substantial change in your circumstances, your financial circumstances, since your last order, your child support order, right? Yeah. So if you were making, your child support order was from back in 2014, and at that time you were making $50,000 a year, and before this whole outbreak, you lost your job, you're entitled to a modification, right? Mm-hmm. Same scenario, you have a child support order that's from back in 2014, you're making $50,000, and now because of the pandemic, you have been laid off, you've been furloughed, now you're not making that money anymore. That's a material and substantial change in your circumstances, and you are entitled to a modification. However, if you just haven't been paying, there hasn't been a material and substantial change in your circumstances, you've had the money, you have willfully not paid, then you're not entitled to a modification. If you have been intentionally unemployed, because some people do that. Some people just refuse to work or they get paid under the table so they don't have to pay child support. You're not entitled to a modification. In fact, you need to go somewhere and sit the hell down.
What do you say to people that say ain't no excuse for paying child support, for not paying child support?
I agree. I 100% agree with that. I mean, look, I believe in being fair. If you, to no fault of your own, have lost your job, then you shouldn't be held to the requirement of paying money that you don't have.
Well, that's an excuse.
Why do you say that?
Well, I'm just saying. That is an excuse. Hey, what's your excuse? I can't pay because I ain't got no job. I lost my job.
Well, if you're going to call it an excuse, it's a justifiable excuse, right, under the law.
Right.
Under the law. But if you're one of these men or women, because women have to pay child support too, that you go quit your job, right, and you're working for your homeboy who's paying you under the table, that's not that, and you don't want to pay child support because you telling people, oh, you don't have a job when you know you're getting paid under the table. That's BS. That's not a justifiable excuse.
Are the courts closed right now because that would prevent you from paying or modifying your child support? Because Kareem Muhammad just said, he left a comment. He said courts are closed. Is that true?
That is not true. The courts are open. However, the courts have cleared their dockets as far as hearings. They're only, at this time, I think, only hearing what they're calling essential matters. However, they are conducting some hearings via Zoom, like what we did the other day with our interview. But the thing about a modification is, even if there's a delay in you actually getting in front of a judge to have your child support reduced, as long as you file the suit and you get the other person served, then you're in the court's records as already asking them for a reduction. So when you actually get in front of a judge and you're actually able to have your child support reduced, it's going to be retroactively applied to the date that you got the other person served. Meaning that if you file your suit today, you get baby mama or the other parent served on Friday, you're not able to get in front of a judge until June. When the judge says, okay, we will give you a reduction, they're going to apply that from the date of the time she got served. So that would be April, that would be May, and that would be June. The modified amount would apply to those previous months. Does that make sense?
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So it makes all the sense in the world. And I've been telling people, I have been pleading with people, if they have been affected by this coronavirus and they're not working, or they've been furloughed, or they've had their hours reduced and they are under an order to pay child support, they need a modification. It doesn't matter if you call the Office of Attorney General and say, hey, I'm not working. They're going to say, oh, okay, like they care, but they're not going to do a damn thing. And you're still going to be on the hook for the amount that you were ordered to pay until that order is modified. So you gotta get a modification.
Okay, I got another question here. So we were just talking a few minutes ago about Black men being disproportionately jailed for non-payment of child support. Is that your experience?
You know what? I really cannot speak on that because I don't have personal knowledge about the disproportionate amount of Black men that are jailed. But if I had to make an assessment about it, I think that if that is happening, I do think that's happening across the board, not just only as it relates to child support, but I think across the board when you look at the numbers, which I have not. But I think if you do look at the numbers as to, you know, the proportion of people that are jailed, and you look at it in the category as far as race is concerned, I think across the board, from it being, you know, drug, marijuana, possession of marijuana, you know, whatever the charges may be, I think if you look at it across the board, there may be a disproportionate number of Black men that are jailed. But I don't know what those specific numbers are as it relates to child support.
Right. I think it's important that we recognize that all men are not trying to avoid child support. You know, I think that what all men are trying to have is fairness. And I think that, and you said this before, that this system is rigged against men. Like it's really not designed to even be fair.
Well, I'll say this because I words matter, right? So I think that the system is unfairly designed toward the person who has to pay child support. Sometimes that's women.
Which is what percentage is women?
Exactly. I don't know what those numbers are, but I will say that the majority of the payers, obligors of child support, are male. So the law itself is flawed, I think. Or more so, the application of the law is flawed. The way that the law is actually applied by the powers that be is flawed. And because most of the people who pay child support is men are the ones that mostly suffer the brunt of the flawed system. And in particular, you know, one of the things that I see that I have an issue with is, you know, the Office of Attorney General is the one that handles the child support in the state of Texas. And you know, they're quick to enforce. If you late, the baby mama or the other person that's receiving the money, they don't even have to complain about it. The Office of Attorney General will on their own file a suit for non-payment, particularly if the child is receiving some sort of state benefit. If the child is on Medicaid or something like that, and I'll tell you what, you and the mom could have an agreement that you're gonna as a man, you're gonna just give her money. She doesn't need to put you on child support. But the moment that mom goes and put the kiddo on Medicaid or something like that, it's no longer her choice. The Office of Attorney General will come in and put you on child support because they're trying to recoup their funds. So I have a problem with the fact that they're so quick to put people on child support. They're so quick to enforce child support, non-payment of child support, but they're slow, very slow, if they do anything at all, to modify people's child support. And right now is their time to freaking shine. They know what's going on in the world with this COVID-19. They know that people are being laid off. We had 3 million people apply for unemployment the other day. So right now is when the Office of Attorney General should be earning their money and taking it upon themselves to look at people's accounts and their cases to say, okay, well, maybe we need to initiate some modifications here. But that's not happening.
Mm-hmm. I can dig it. Well, Attorney Cassandra Daniels, I really do appreciate your insight.
Anytime.
Your professional expertise
Anytime.
is very appreciated. So, family, if you want to get at Attorney Daniels, you can check it out on this page. It's actually, her number is right underneath her name on the picture that you're staring at right now.
It's very small, so I'll say it out loud. It's 346-703-1234. One more time, that's 346-703-1234. Let me say this though, call me if you got real business you're trying to handle. Period.
Real business, family. All that other stuff, that means it's fake. I ain't trying to hear it. Okay, I appreciate you. Talk to you later.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Right, no more talk. All right, fam. There it is. So, who is it? Sav ATL says Trump extended the clubs to stay closed another month. So my bargaining power just got stronger with buying cheap from ATL strippers. All right, I hear you, homie. All right, hey, strippers need to pay bills too, huh? Okay, what we got over here? Sorry, something went wrong. Here we go. Metho Nelson, appreciate the content. Nakia Shelby, I work in a hospital in Houston and they're cutting our hours due to the lack of surgeries. If he's been handling his business, he should get a break. Okay. Silas Deeds, respect from Miami, Florida. Harold Williams, if he's been paying on time, he should get a break. Earl Williams, never want to give a black man a break, it's a shame. Sarita Santiago, I'm not getting your live chat notifications. Sorry, just got here. What's up again? We're talking about child support. Should a man get a break from child support during the coronavirus pandemic? Everybody's getting breaks on paying bills. Should the brothers get a break on paying their child support bill? Sergeant Tyson, first responder in New York City on the front lines. Thank you for your service, sir. Bam. Gorilla, who is that? Gorilla Kid? What's up, Gorilla Kid? Okay. Miss Michi on moderator duties. What's up, Miss Michi? Y'all send some love out to Miss Michi. Yeah, this child support, listen, fam, look, we need each other. So we got to figure it out, right? We got to find a way to figure it out. I think that if a lot of this, I think it's just conversation, people having conversations, swallowing their pride and having a man to woman conversation with the children being the center and being the most important individual or individuals involved in the whole thing. Like, do right by the children. Damn your emotions. Damn what this dude hurt you. Oh, he hurt me. Oh man, she gonna trick my money off her hair and this, or I don't like her because she's doing this and doing. Say, man, whatever it is, figure it out. Like, this is about those kids. Once you give life, life is bigger than yours. And I see too many people, they make it about themselves. A lot of people, they make it about themselves. And those people deserve no mercy. If you make it about the kids, you don't even need the damn state involved. Now, I understand people get the state involved just to have it on paper. I get that. But really, the G move is to not even get it on paper at all. Like, just work out a situation between you, yourself, and the woman. And yeah, you know, you need to document anything you do. You need to document it because people do change. But that is why it's so critical to be very, very careful with who you decide to procreate with. Learn who you laying up in that bed with, man. Like, get a grip. on the type of person that you want to procreate with. If you know this chick ain't the type of chick that would be a good mother, then you probably want to not make sure you don't have sex with that woman. Because anything could happen. You know, you can get caught up in the moment, take that thing off, or you can get caught up in the moment and bust it open. And bam, you know, no pun intended. But these type of things happen all the time. Like, so the idea should be to don't even have sex with somebody that you don't think that would be a good person. Because really, it really boils down to being a good person before anything. And if you're if somebody is a good person, and that's men and women, if you're a good person, if they're a good person, and if everything falls, y'all fall out, and maybe initially that person will have some resentment, and that's more than likely gonna happen. Y'all gonna fall out. But if you're mature enough, you catch a snap and you realize that, man, this ain't about me, it ain't about her. It's about these babies. It's about this child. You're in charge of developing a child, a human being. The greatest job known to man or woman, developing a child. You gotta act like your ass got some sense for the child. Even when you feel like when the person's on the phone tripping or whatever, you just stay calm no matter what. Stay calm, stay firm, and you know, you hold your ground when you have to. You give a lot of times. You give more often than you might want to, but it's all about keeping the peace. It's an old saying, you get more bees with honey than you do vinegar. Most of the time, a lot of us, we out here slanging vinegar, trying to get some honey. I mean, you're trying to get some bees with vinegar. It's not gonna work like that. So, and I'm telling you from experience, you know, the key is to get out of your feelings, because your feelings gonna get you in a lot of trouble. Get out of your feelings and make sure that the kids are always at the center of your discussions. When she's saying whatever she's saying, before you bust back, you just make sure that you know that you're talking to the mother of your children. Especially if you're talking about saying something where you know, in earshot of your children. Because no kid, I don't care who their mother is, no kid want to hear somebody calling their mother out of her name. My kids have never heard me call their mother out of their name. Never. They're 20 and 24 years old. I refuse to do it because I understand how kids think when it comes to their mother. No mother should allow their children to hear them call their father out of his name. Immature people do this. And sometimes people are immature and they're in their 30s, they're 40 years old, 50 years old, immature as all get out, just dumb, just stuck on stupid. And I know I'm talking to some people right now that this applies to. I'm not saying it out of hate, I'm saying it out of love. You got to put it together for the children, for the sake of the children. Once you give life, life is bigger than yours. And if you really love them children like you say you do, you would fall back and do what's right by them, not what's right by you. Everybody feel like their pain is the same. You know, I might feel like my pain is greater than that person's pain, but that person feels like their pain is greater than mine. So everybody feels, no matter what level of pain that they're experiencing, they feel like their pain is more valid than anybody else's. That's what we have to understand, that person, no matter how the relationship ended, that person thinks that you did them worse than they did you. And they probably did you dirty, and it might be a general consensus about everybody that y'all know said you did them the worst. But that person will feel like that person will feel like you did the worst. You know, instead of you thinking that Everybody feel like they did you bad, that person did you dirty. That person feel like you did them the dirtiest. That's the way it is. That's just how people are. So you have to think about the children at all times. People sit and have these conversations, and they come from a place of respect first and foremost, and you keep the kids at the center of the discussion, the center of the situation, you can work that thing out by yourself. Even if you are on paper, you can have that conversation. And sometimes, you know how sometimes, you might be going through something and she might be, all on your neck about getting paid or whatever. And then you just go off. That ain't gonna work. That ain't never work. That ain't gonna never work. She on your neck, you done ran into a rough patch, you owe child support, you ran into a rough patch. When she called, this your conversation. I hear what you're saying, listen. And this is truthful conversation. I'm talking about for the men who love their children for real. But even if you don't love your children, this is what you should be saying. Okay, hey, I hear what you're saying. Listen, look, if I got it, my baby's got it. They're gonna have it. If I got it, they're gonna have it. But look, you coming at me like that. You don't think I feel bad? You don't think I feel bad? I feel horrible that I can't, take care of my kids right now. I feel horrible. But I can promise you, as soon as I get it, they're gonna get it. As soon as I get it, you'll be able to see what I'm doing. If you see me out here, I said, you don't see me out here stunting. You don't see me out here buying new stuff and, all online, flashing money and stuff like that. I ain't got it like that. But you jumping up and down my neck ain't gonna make me go get it no faster. I'm my worst critic, so I'm trying to get it right now. I'm doing everything I can to get it. And you calling me about it ain't gonna push me any closer to the money any faster. As soon as I get it, you got it, I promise you. This is how you need to be talking. Instead of getting emotional and yeah, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. If you're the non-custodial parent, you're not in a position of power. You're just not. And so you need to make sure that you understand that. And so you gotta think. You gotta think. And it ain't always fair. Some mothers are rotten. Some of them are rotten to the core. Ain't got no reason being a mother. Ain't got no reason being a mother. Some of them are just rotten to the core. But, I don't think the courts would have such an easy time doing dudes dirty if you didn't have these worst case scenarios out here where some dudes ain't never paid child support and some dudes making $100,000 and they're paying $150 in child support a month. These ridiculous cases like this, y'all know what I'm talking about. So I want to be clear about that. I have no love for a dude that don't take care of his responsibilities. You bring a child into this world, hey man, you got to take care of your business. A man gonna take care of his business. Now these dudes out here that's trying to avoid paying child support altogether, ain't trying to do nothing for their babies. Oh man, I ain't got nothing for you. I ain't got nothing but pain for you. Dara Alexander, what's up, Dara? What Dara talking about? Here's a damn good question. If welfare were to be abolished tomorrow, do you think child support cases would rise or decline? If welfare were to be abolished tomorrow, do you think child support cases would rise or decline? Oh, they would definitely rise. They would definitely rise. They're probably rising already because I believe a lot of welfare is being cut already. So, yeah, I think it would definitely be a rise. All right, family, that's my time. I appreciate y'all chiming in. Just remember, family, we all in this together, and it's about the kids. It ain't about you. You know, it ain't about the woman. It ain't about the man. It's about the children. It's about the kid. So, you know, make it about that and do right by the kids. One thing about it, at the end of the day, they're gonna know it don't matter what mama say about the dad and what daddy say about mama. The kids see what's going on. And if you make their life hard, if you try to, you know, raise them to hate their parent, non-custodial parent, it's gonna come back to bite you in the end. It may not seem like it because you seem like you may have all the control, but it'll come back and bite you at the end. And your children will hate you. Because any person that's raising their child to hate their non-custodial parent, that's a parent, that's a person that needs some help, needs some psychological help. And they're probably making horrible decisions in other aspects of their child's life. So that's my 2 cents. I love you for real, family. That's the only reason why I'm having these kind of conversations. This is a hard conversation because it often pits one side against the other. It's a hard left or a hard right. But again, like I say, I keep the child in the center. I think if you keep the child in the center of the discussion, of the situation, and do what's best by the child, then everything will eventually work out. That's all I got, family. No more talk.